Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel with Alan Dembski and Juliana Jansen. Today we have an exciting topic of conversation, something that's been in the news a lot recently. Today we're going to be talking about the new Trump accounts established with the One Big Beautiful Bill back in July. As this is starting to transform into later this year, and as we are in the tax filing, people have been asking, and we thought we would do a video on the Trump accounts. So Juliana's going to get us started today, and we'll have a good conversation on this topic.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's exciting, but it's definitely topical. We've had a lot of clients that are asking us what our opinions are about it and, how they basically work. And to be honest, we still have some pieces of information that we don't know about exactly how they're going to work. But what we do know is that when you're filing your taxes for 2025 tax year, if you had a child in 2025, you're going to want to file Form 4547 with your tax form. And that is the first step to establishing your Trump account for your child. If you're watching this after tax time and you did not file 4547, never fear. You can go to trumpaccounts.gov and establish your account there. The contribution, so what that basically does is for children that are born in 25, 26, 27, and 28, that will allow the child to receive their seed money, their pilot money from the federal government in the amount of $1,000. You then, as a parent, can contribute additional amounts to the Trump accounts. We'll talk a little bit about that later, up to $5,000. And you can make contributions up until the child is 18 years old.
Yeah, so a lot of restrictions there, or not a lot of restrictions, but restrictions nonetheless on what you can do and what you can't do. The investment options are pretty easy. You can pick from index funds. Once the account is open, based on rules now, you will be able to move that to a custodian of your choice. If you choose to do that, or leave that with whoever they choose as a custodian to open these accounts. That is still unknown at this time. One of the things that you got to understand is the distribution phase. The distribution is like the IRA, similar, that if you take out money from the account, you're taxed, plus you're penalized if you're under 59 and a half. However, there are a few exclusions to the 10% penalty if it's first-time home buyer, or if you're going to use it for higher education like college, you can take the money out without that 10% penalty. So again, just like an IRA, that 59 and a half is the number where you're not going to be penalized on it. However, any distributions after 59 and a half are going to be taxed at ordinary income. The earnings grow tax deferred. And like Juliana said, there's no deduction to contribute to it. However, you do have that tax deferral growth opportunity like some of the other accounts that are out there.
So a lot of clients are asking, well, what if I have children, but they were not born in 2025 and, they're already with us? So there was an announcement from the Dell Foundation that a contribution of $250 for children that were not part of the pilot program would be made, provided that the child resides in a zip code with a median income of $150,000 or less, which really covers a pretty broad spectrum of the country. That is still being finalized. That was sort of like an initial announcement that was made, and we're waiting for further guidance on that. But that's what we know so far for kids that were not born 25 through 28.
And for people watching outside the Western New York area where we're based, in the Western New York area, there's only a handful of zip codes that don't qualify for that stipend of $250 for children under 10 years old. So, like you said, there is a wide range of zip codes that fall into that qualification. Additionally, there are other accounts available. So if you stick to our channel, we're going to be doing a video following this on other types of savings plans for children. But certainly talk to your financial advisor to see if this is okay for you, or maybe in your best interest to open one of these accounts. In our opinion, we think taking an extra $1,000 if you qualify for a child born in the next 3 years. It's free money. And the last thing we want to talk about is for that additional $250, you have to be one of the first 25 million to enroll into the plan. If there's money left over, then they're going to increase the amount of people that can get that money. So anything you want to add on closing here?
Well, I think just in closing, people are asking, is it worth it? I think it absolutely is worth it for the $1,000 or even the $250. Whether or not you add additional contributions, that's the question that you really want to talk to your financial advisor, because it may or may not make sense based on the other options that are out there.
And always review your goals with your financial advisor, see if anything makes sense, whether it's a Trump account or any other savings accounts for your child, because each one has its own pros and cons to it.
Definitely.
So thank you very much for joining us today, and stay tuned for our next video on other child savings accounts. Have a great day.